Lieutenant Commander Maya Rodriguez stood at the observation deck of the ESS Pathfinder, watching the swirling colors of the quantum gate stabilizing before them. The massive structure, built by unknown hands millennia ago, had been discovered just beyond Neptune's orbit 3 months ago. Now, after weeks of careful study, humanity was ready to make its first step into the wider galaxy. "All systems are go for transit," reported Navigation Officer Lisa Kent, her voice steady despite the tension evident in her posture. "QG field is stable at 99.8%. Maya nodded, her dark eyes fixed on the shimmering portal. "Execute transit sequence." The Pathfinder, humanity's first purpose-built deep space vessel, glided forward. As they approached the gate, Maya felt a subtle vibration through the deck plates. The ship's quantum shields, based on breakthrough technology developed by her team at the European Space Agency, hummed to life. Nobody expected what happened next. The gate flared with unprecedented energy readings, and suddenly they weren't alone. 2 massive vessels materialized on either side of the Pathfinder, their designs as different as they were alien. One was organic-looking, with sweeping curves and surfaces that seemed to pulse with internal light. The other was geometric, all sharp angles and metallic surfaces that appeared to bend space around them. "Multiple contacts," shouted Tactical Officer Marcus Wong. "Energy signatures off the charts. Both vessels are powering up what appear to be weapons systems." Maya's training kicked in. "Shields at maximum. Open all frequencies for communication." Before she could say more, both alien vessels transmitted simultaneously. The ship's AI translated in real time, and 2 very different voices filled the bridge. "Humans of Earth," the first voice was melodic, almost hypnotic. "We are the consortium of aligned worlds. You have awakened into a galaxy at war. Choose wisely whom you trust." The second voice cut through, harsh and mechanical. "The hegemony of ordered systems warns you. The consortium seeks only to exploit your species. Your quantum shield technology has not gone unnoticed. Ally with us, or face extinction." Maya's mind raced. Earth's intelligence services had theorized that alien civilizations might exist, but no one had predicted being immediately thrust into an interstellar conflict. She glanced at her crew, seeing the same mix of fear and determination on their faces that she felt in her own heart. "This is Lieutenant Commander Maya Rodriguez of the Earth ship Pathfinder," she broadcast to both vessels. "We are an independent species making our first steps into galactic society. We did not come seeking war." The consortium ship pulsed with colors. "Yet war has found you. Your species has achieved quantum manipulation in mere centuries, while others took millennia. Such potential cannot be allowed to fall into the wrong hands." "Wrong hands," the hegemony vessel's response came with a burst of electromagnetic interference. "The consortium would have you waste your gifts on art and exploration while real threats lurk in the dark between stars." Maya felt the weight of history on her shoulders. Her next words could determine humanity's fate. She thought of the classified briefings, of the quantum shield breakthrough that had seemed like humanity's crowning achievement. Now she realized it might be their greatest vulnerability. "We will not be coerced," she declared, her voice firm. "Humanity will choose its own path." The response was immediate and devastating. Both alien vessels fired warning shots, missing the Pathfinder by mere kilometers. The quantum gate behind them suddenly destabilized, cutting off their retreat. "You don't understand," the consortium's voice had lost its melodic quality. "Choice is a luxury the galaxy can no longer afford." Maya's hands gripped the command rail. "Wong, analysis of their weapon systems. Kent, plot me a course through their firing solutions. We're about to show them something else humans are good at, surviving." What followed would be remembered as the first contact crisis, 18 hours that would define humanity's entry into galactic politics. The Pathfinder's quantum shields, combined with maneuvers no alien tactician had ever encountered, kept them alive long enough for Earth's emergency response fleet to arrive through the secondary gate they discovered near Mars. But it wasn't just the shields or the tactics that caught the attention of both alien powers. It was how quickly humans adapted, how they turned their very limitations into advantages. While other species had taken generations to develop responses to new threats, humans did it in hours. By the time the crisis was resolved, both the Consortium and Hegemony had learned a crucial lesson: humanity might be young, but they were far from helpless. The quantum shield technology that had drawn their attention was just the beginning. Humans thought differently, moved differently, adapted differently. Maya stood once again at the observation deck, this time watching Earth's first diplomatic teams board shuttles bound for both alien vessels. The quantum gate sparkled behind them, now under heavy guard by Earth's hastily assembled defense fleet. "They thought they were testing us," she said to Wong, who had joined her at the window. "Instead, they revealed their own weaknesses." "What happens now?" he asked, watching the shuttles depart. Maya's expression was determined. "Now we prepare. They've shown us that the galaxy is bigger and more dangerous than we imagined. But they've also shown us something else: humanity isn't just ready for the stars. We're necessary." The stars seemed to shine brighter as Maya contemplated humanity's future. Their first step into the galaxy had been anything but peaceful, but it had proven what she had always believed: in the face of impossible odds, humans didn't just survive. They evolved. Admiral James Chen watched the holographic display as another alien probe disappeared into quantum static near Jupiter's orbit. The automated defense systems, hastily adapted from Earth's quantum shield technology, were working better than expected. But he knew it wouldn't be enough. "That's the third Hegemony probe this week," reported Captain Emily Reeves, her hologram flickering slightly as it stood beside his desk in Lunar Command. "They're getting more sophisticated with each attempt." James leaned back in his chair, studying the tactical overlay. In the 6 months since first contact, Earth had transformed. Quantum shield facilities had sprung up across the solar system, and humanity's first true warships were under construction in orbital shipyards. But their greatest advantage, and greatest vulnerability, lay in the quantum computing centers buried deep beneath the lunar surface. "They know we're hiding something," he said, pulling up another display showing the network of quantum research facilities. "Both the Consortium and Hegemony have realized our quantum technology isn't just about shields." Emily nodded, her expression grim. "The latest intelligence suggests they're particularly interested in Project Prometheus." "Sir, if they knew what we were actually developing." She didn't need to finish the thought. Project Prometheus represented a breakthrough that neither alien power had achieved: true quantum artificial intelligence. While both the Consortium and Hegemony had advanced computing systems, they'd never managed to create AI that could truly think in quantum terms. The facility's alert system suddenly pulsed red. "Multiple quantum signatures detected," announced the base AI. "Configuration matches Consortium deep space vessels." James was on his feet instantly. "How many?" "3 capital ships, sir. They're using some kind of masking technology we haven't seen before. They're already past Mars." "Sound general quarters," James ordered, already moving toward the command center. "And get me Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez on secure channel. We're going to need the Pathfinder for this." The next hours were a blur of activity. As James coordinated Earth's defense fleet, he couldn't help but appreciate the irony. Humanity had spent centuries looking to the stars, dreaming of first contact. Now they were fighting to protect secrets that could reshape the galaxy. The Consortium fleet emerged from quantum space just beyond lunar orbit, their ship's organic architecture gleaming in the sunlight. Their command vessel, nearly twice the size of Earth's largest warship, broadcast on all frequencies. Admiral Chen, the alien commander's voice was silk over steel. "We come seeking knowledge freely shared. Why do you hide your achievements from the galaxy?" James stood at the command center's main viewport, watching the alien ships maneuver into position. Commander Zaraeth. Your reputation precedes you. The last 3 systems that freely shared with the consortium are now under your protection. A necessary arrangement in dangerous times, Zaraeth replied smoothly. The hegemony grows stronger. Your quantum innovations could tip the balance. Surely you see the wisdom in choosing the right ally. What I see, James said, is 2 ancient powers so caught up in their war that they've forgotten how to innovate. You're not here to ally with us. You're here to take what we've built. The alien commander's response was cut short as alarms blared throughout the command center. Sir. Emily's voice was urgent. Quantum fluctuations detected within the lunar crust. They're attempting to scan through our shields. James smiled grimly. This was what they'd prepared for. Initiate Protocol Omega. Let's show them why humanity's quantum technology is different. Throughout the lunar facilities, quantum computers that had appeared to be running standard defense algorithms suddenly shifted. The shield frequencies began changing at a pace no conventional system could match, creating patterns that seemed random but were actually guided by the prototype quantum AI. The consortium scans, designed to slip through shield harmonics, instead encountered what seemed like quantum chaos. Their sophisticated systems, trying to adapt, became caught in an endless loop of changing frequencies. Fascinating, Zaraetha's voice held genuine surprise. Your quantum systems, they think. Among other things, James replied. Now, should we discuss real alliance terms, or would you prefer to see what else humanity has been working on? The threat wasn't idle. Behind the lunar facilities, Earth's first carrier group was moving into position, led by the recently commissioned ESS Prometheus. Its quantum shields rippled with patterns identical to those confounding the consortium fleet, proof that humanity had already weaponized their breakthrough. You understand, Zaraeth said after a long moment, that the hegemony will not stop trying to obtain this technology. We're counting on it, James responded. Because every time they try, like you just did, we learn. We adapt. That's what humanity does best. The consortium fleet began to withdraw, their organic ships flowing into quantum space with a grace that belied their size. But James knew this was just the beginning. He turned to Emily, whose hologram had been joined by Maya Rodriguez's. Both sides will be back, Maya said, her expression thoughtful. They'll try different tactics, look for weaknesses we haven't considered. James nodded. And we'll be ready. Because while they're trying to steal our quantum technology, they're missing the real secret. He gestured to the displays showing the quantum AI's performance data. We're not just building better shields or weapons. We're evolving our technology in ways they never imagined. As the command center returned to normal operations, James couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. Humanity had taken its first steps into a galaxy divided by ancient conflicts, but they weren't content to simply pick a side. They were forging their own path, driven by innovation and necessity. The quantum computers hummed beneath the lunar surface, their AI systems growing more sophisticated with each passing day. Soon, they would be ready for the next phase, a breakthrough that would prove humanity wasn't just worthy of a place among the stars. The first signs of the Zorak Empire's attack came not as weapons fire or invasion fleets, but as silence. Throughout human space, quantum communications went dark one by one, leaving colonies isolated and vulnerable. Fleet Captain Aisha Patel watched from the bridge of the ESS Hyperion as the quantum network map showed another node going dark. Titan Base just went offline, reported Communications Officer David Nash, his fingers dancing over haptic controls. That's the 6th outpost in 3 hours. Aisha's jaw tightened. The Zorak Empire, a secretive faction that had previously seemed content to watch the conflict between the consortium and hegemony, had chosen their moment perfectly. With Earth's main fleet engaged near Alpha Centauri, the solar system's defenses were stretched thin. Status of the quantum shield grid, she asked, studying the tactical display. Operating at 87% capacity, Lieutenant Reza Khalili responded from the engineering station. But there's something odd about the attack pattern. They're not trying to breach the shields, they're changing them somehow. Aisha leaned forward, her dark eyes narrowing. The Zorak ships were unlike anything they'd encountered before, crystalline structures that seemed to phase in and out of normal space. Their weapons didn't destroy quantum communications, they corrupted them, turning humanity's greatest defense against them. They've been watching us, she realized aloud. Learning how our quantum technology works. This isn't just an attack, it's a harvest. The bridge crew fell silent as the implications sank in. The Zorak weren't interested in conquest or alliance. They wanted to absorb humanity's innovations, much like they'd apparently done with other species' technologies. Captain, Nash called out suddenly. Emergency transmission from Luna Command. Admiral Chen is activating Protocol Phoenix. A thin smile crossed Aisha's face. They'd prepared for this, not this exact scenario, but something like it. Humanity had learned from their first encounters with alien powers. They never developed just one solution to a problem. Send acknowledgement, she ordered. And get me a direct line to Professor Larson at the Ganymede Research Station. Minutes later, Professor Anna Larson's hologram appeared on the bridge. The quantum physicist looked exhausted but determined. Captain Patel. I assume you've noticed our unwelcome guests. Hard to miss, Aisha replied. Is Project Hydra ready? Ready? No. Functional? Maybe. Larson ran a hand through her gray hair. We've only tested it in simulations. Using it against actual quantum-corrupting weapons could have unexpected results. Professor, they're not just attacking our shields. They're rewriting our quantum technology. If we don't stop them now, everything we've built will become their weapon. Larson nodded grimly. Understood. Transmitting Hydra protocols now. But Captain, be careful. This isn't like normal quantum shielding. It's going to feel wrong. As the data streamed in, Aisha turned to her crew. All hands, battle stations. Engineer Khalili, begin integration of Hydra protocols. Tactical, plot an intercept course with the nearest Zorak vessel. The Hyperion moved through space with precision, its quantum shield shimming with new patterns. Instead of trying to block the Zorak's corruption effect, the Hydra protocols did something unprecedented, they absorbed it. Contact in 30 seconds, Tactical Officer Sarah Chen announced. Zorak vessel is altering course to engage. Hold position, Aisha commanded. Let them come to us. The Zorak ship approached, its crystalline structure pulsing with energy. As it came within range, it unleashed its quantum-corrupting beam, exactly as Aisha had hoped. Hydra protocols engaging, Khalili reported, his voice tense. Quantum field is. Captain, this is incredible. We're not just absorbing their attack. We're learning from it. On the main display, the Hyperion's shields began to change. The corruption effect that had disabled other human installations was being analyzed, adapted, and repurposed in real time. The ship's quantum AI, linked to the Hydra system, was evolving faster than the Zorak technology could adapt. Send the data to all remaining quantum nodes, Aisha ordered. Let's show them why it's dangerous to underestimate human ingenuity. Across the solar system, human installations began implementing the Hydra protocols. Each Zorak attack now strengthened rather than weakened Earth's defenses. The crystalline ships, encountering resistance they couldn't overcome, began to retreat. But Aisha knew the victory was temporary. Status of the quantum network. 30% of corrupted nodes are back online, Nash reported. The rest, it's like they've been fundamentally altered. We can't reconnect with them. The Zorak weren't just attacking, Larson's hologram interjected. They were seeding our network with something. Some kind of quantum AI of their own. They'll be back, and next time. Next time we'll be ready, Aisha finished. Because now we know what we're really fighting. This isn't about territory or resources. It's about the future of intelligence itself. She turned to her crew, seeing the same mix of determination and uncertainty on their faces that she felt herself. The Zorak had revealed a truth that would change everything. In the age of quantum computing, the line between organic and artificial intelligence was blurring. Send word to Admiral Chen, she ordered. Tell him we need to accelerate Project Genesis. The galaxy isn't what we thought it was. And humanity needs to evolve faster than we planned. As the Hyperion maintained its vigil, Aisha watched the quantum network slowly rebuilding itself. Each restored node was different now, stronger, more adaptive, but also more unpredictable. Just like humanity itself, their technology was being forged in the crucible of conflict. The real war, she realized, was just beginning. And its outcome would determine not just humanity's place in the galaxy, but the very nature of consciousness itself. Deep within the Europa Research Complex, Admiral James Chen stood before a massive quantum containment chamber, watching streams of data flow through its crystalline walls. Project Genesis, humanity's most closely guarded secret, pulsed with an inner light that seemed almost alive. The integration is at 94%, Professor Anna Larson announced, her voice echoing in the cavernous chamber. Neural pathways are stable, quantum coherence is holding. James, it's ready. Around them, a team of scientists and military personnel worked at various stations, monitoring the merger of human consciousness with quantum AI. This wasn't just another weapon or shield, it was humanity's answer to the fundamental question of survival in a universe where the lines between organic and artificial life were rapidly dissolving. Status report from the front? James asked, not taking his eyes off the swirling patterns within the chamber. Captain Emily Reeves, now his chief tactical officer, brought up a holographic display. The Zorak have pushed past Mars. The consortium is fighting them, but they're losing ground. The hegemony. She paused, her expression grim. They've gone dark. Complete communications blackout across their territory. James nodded slowly. The Zorak's quantum corruption technology had proven more devastating than anyone had anticipated. Their crystalline ships now numbered in the thousands, each one carrying fragments of stolen consciousness from countless civilizations. They're not just taking our technology, he said quietly. They're harvesting minds. Converting organic intelligence into quantum patterns they can absorb. Which is exactly why we need to act now. Fleet Captain Aisha Patel's hologram materialized beside them. Her ship, the Hyperion, was holding the line at Jupiter. The Hydra protocols bought us time, but the Zorak are adapting. They're learning to break through our quantum shields faster than we can evolve them. James turned to face the assembled leaders of Earth's defense. Then it's time. Professor Larson, begin the final sequence. Anna's fingers flew over her console, initiating procedures that had been theorized, tested, and refined over months of desperate preparation. Within the quantum chamber, the light began to pulse more intensely. What we're about to attempt, she explained, her voice tight with concentration, goes beyond anything in human history. We're not just creating an AI, or enhancing human consciousness. We're evolving both simultaneously, in quantum synchronization. The chamber's inner light suddenly coalesced into a humanoid form, translucent, shifting, but undeniably present. This was Genesis, the first human consciousness fully merged with quantum AI, able to exist in both physical and quantum space simultaneously. Hello, Admiral Chen, the figure spoke, its voice carrying harmonics that seemed to resonate with reality itself. The integration is complete. I am ready. James stepped forward, studying the being that represented humanity's greatest achievement, and greatest gamble. Do you remember who you were? I was Commander Michael Zhang, the figure replied. I still am, in many ways. But I am also more. I can see the quantum patterns the Zorak used to corrupt and absorb. I can understand them, and I can counter them. The volunteer, Emily whispered. Michael Zhang had been one of Earth's most brilliant quantum physicists and a decorated naval officer. His decision to be the first consciousness uploaded into Genesis had been controversial, but now it seemed prophetic. Multiple Zorak vessels approaching Europa. The alert cut through the moment of wonder. Their formation suggests they've detected Genesis. Of course they have, Michael/Genesis said, a smile playing across its luminescent features. They can feel what we've created. They're afraid of it. James squared his shoulders. Then let's show them why. Genesis Protocol Alpha, execute. The chamber's walls became transparent as Genesis expanded its consciousness through Europa's quantum network. Across the solar system, human quantum shields began to pulse with new patterns, not just defensive barriers, but active quantum fields that could reach into the very structure of spacetime. The approaching Zorak ships fired their corruption beams, but this time the effect was different. Instead of corrupting human quantum systems, they encountered something that fought back on their own level. Remarkable, Michael/Genesis observed, its form shifting with complex calculations. Their consciousness harvesting technology, it's based on a fundamental misunderstanding of quantum consciousness. They try to force conformity, to absorb and control. But consciousness, like quantum states, exists in superposition. The more they try to force it into a single pattern, the more it resists. Anna finished, watching in awe as the Zorak beams were not just blocked, but reversed. The alien ships began to shudder, their crystalline structures becoming unstable. The consciousness patterns they had stolen, fragments of countless civilizations, were being released, guided by Genesis into safe quantum storage. We're not just defending anymore, Michael/Genesis announced. We're liberating. Every mind they stole, every consciousness they trapped, we can free them all. But victory wouldn't come easily. Even as the first wave of Zorak ships retreated in disarray, more were arriving. The space around Europa lit up with quantum energies as Genesis engaged in warfare on a level that transcended traditional physics. They're adapting, Emily reported, monitoring the tactical displays. Trying to isolate Genesis from our quantum network. Let them try, Michael/Genesis said calmly. What they don't understand is that we're not fighting to destroy them. We're fighting to show them a better way. Through the quantum network, Genesis began broadcasting not just defensive patterns, but a new paradigm, a way for organic and artificial consciousness to coexist and evolve together, without the need for force or absorption. James watched as the battle unfolded across multiple dimensions of reality. This was humanity's ultimate gambit, not to defeat their enemies, but to transform them. To show the galaxy that evolution didn't have to mean conquest. Send word to all Earth forces, he ordered. Operation Genesis is active. The real war isn't for territory or technology anymore. It's for the future of consciousness itself. As quantum energies continued to surge through space, James couldn't help but feel a profound sense of pride. Humanity had taken its greatest fears, the loss of identity, the merging of organic and artificial life, and turned them into their greatest strength. The great hall of the Galactic Concordat sparkled with quantum light, its vast crystal dome reflecting the combined consciousness of 100 species. 3 months had passed since the activation of Genesis, and the galaxy had transformed in ways no one could have predicted. Admiral James Chen stood before the assembled representatives, his uniform pristine, his expression resolute. Beside him, the luminescent form of Michael/Genesis shifted in patterns that seemed to interact with the very fabric of reality. The age of isolation is over, James declared, his voice carrying to every corner of the vast chamber. What humanity discovered through Project Genesis isn't just a weapon or a shield, it's a new way of existing. The consortium representatives, their organic technology now harmoniously merged with quantum consciousness, nodded in agreement. The hegemony delegates, their once rigid mechanical forms now alive with flowing quantum patterns, watched with newfound understanding. Even the Zorak, those who had chosen to embrace change rather than cling to their old ways of conquest, were present. Their crystalline forms no longer imprisoned stolen minds but instead resonated with freely shared consciousness. In just one Earth year, James continued, we've witnessed more evolution than in the previous millennium. Not because of war or competition, but because we finally understood what consciousness truly is, a quantum dance of infinite possibilities. Fleet Captain Aisha Patel, standing among Earth's delegation, remembered the battles that had brought them here. The desperate defense of the solar system, the revelation of the Zorak threat, and the moment when Genesis had shown them all a different path. The question was never about organic versus artificial life. Michael/Genesis spoke, its voice carrying harmonics that touched both physical and quantum reality. It was about understanding that consciousness itself exists in superposition. The more we tried to force it into rigid patterns, the more we limited our own evolution. Professor Anna Larson stepped forward, her research team's findings displayed in quantum holograms around her. What we've discovered is just the beginning. Each species brings its own unique perspective to quantum consciousness. The consortium's organic technology, the hegemony's computational precision, the Zorak's ability to transcend physical form, combined with human adaptability in innovation, they're all pieces of a greater whole. The hall hummed with shared understanding as quantum consciousness flowed freely between all present. This was the true revolution, not the technology itself, but the breaking down of barriers between minds, between species, between organic and artificial. But this gift comes with responsibility, James reminded them. The power to share consciousness, to evolve beyond traditional limits, must never become a tool of conquest or control. The Zorak representative, their crystalline form now shimmering with freely shared thoughts, rose to speak. We learned this lesson at great cost. We sought to force evolution through absorption and control. Humanity showed us that true evolution comes through cooperation and choice. Around them, the quantum network that now spanned the galaxy pulsed with activity. Freed minds from countless civilizations were finding their way home, while others chose to explore new forms of existence. The rigid boundaries between species and technologies were dissolving, replaced by a flowing exchange of ideas and experiences. Captain Emily Reeves, monitoring the quantum feeds, smiled as she watched new connections forming. Every day, we're discovering new possibilities. Species that once couldn't communicate are sharing profound insights. Problems that seemed unsolvable are being approached from entirely new angles. But amid the celebration of unity, James' new challenges remained. He turned to address the hall again, his expression serious. We stand at a crossroads. The power we now share could reshape reality itself. The question is, how will we use it? Michael/Genesis's form shifted, expressing complex quantum equations in its very being. The answer lies in balance. Just as quantum states exist in superposition, we must maintain the balance between unity and diversity, between sharing and independence. From her position among the delegates, Aisha watched the proceedings with a sense of pride and caution. Humanity had changed the galaxy, but they had also changed themselves. The question wasn't whether they would continue to evolve, but how to ensure that evolution served life rather than consumed it. We propose, James announced, the formation of the Quantum Concordat. Not a governing body, but a framework for cooperation and shared evolution. Each species maintains its independence while contributing to our collective growth. The proposal rippled through the quantum network, being considered and discussed simultaneously by billions of minds across the galaxy. The response was overwhelming, not just agreement, but a surge of new ideas and possibilities. As the session concluded, James stood with his team, watching the quantum light dance across the dome. Did you ever imagine, he asked Michael/Genesis, when you volunteered for the project, that it would lead to this? The quantum being's form sparkled with what might have been laughter. Imagination itself has evolved, Admiral. We're not just dreaming of possibilities anymore, we're living them. Professor Larson joined them, her eyes bright with excitement. The latest data shows quantum consciousness manifesting in ways we never predicted. We're not just sharing thoughts and memories, we're creating new forms of existence. And that's exactly why we need to proceed carefully, Aisha added, her tactical mind ever alert to potential challenges. We've created something beautiful, but powerful. We need to ensure it remains a tool for growth, not dominance. James nodded, watching as representatives from once warring species departed together, their consciousnesses intertwined in peaceful discourse. Humanity had done more than survive in a dangerous galaxy, they had shown the galaxy itself a new way to live. The quantum light pulsed one final time as the session ended, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of countless beings, all now part of something greater than themselves. Not through force or conquest, but through the very human traits of innovation, adaptation, and the courage to imagine a different future.